I'm going to explain you the level 1, which is the level with 2 buttons, as you can see on the screen. So as a reminder, this on the left is an interface that is meant for a user to type a code in a machine. On the top, you have the emplacement for the 4-digit code. In the middle here, this is a place where the machine is asking you a question, and the question is what color is the digit you currently want to type. And in the bottom will be the interface for the user to give the answer to that question to the machine. So in that case, so on the left is a button that is yellow and a gray button that is gray. And on the right side of the screen, what you have is what the machine does, in the background, like what is going on in the brain of the machine, if I could say. So first what we see there is that there is 10 panels, okay, and 10 panels, one for each digit. Why is that? Because the machine knows that the user, that is me, wants to type a number between 0 and 9. So a digit between 0 and 9. So that's what we represent. And then what we have is in each of these hypotheses, we represent the buttons. And you will see when I will interact with the interface that some dots, colored dots, will be placed on those 2 buttons, and that will tell us a bit what the machine is doing in the background. So what we're going to do is I'm going to type the code 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to run you through what I'm doing and what the machine is doing, and explain you how the machine can find out that I'm typing a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. So first, this square tells me that the machine expects me to enter the first digit, which in my head is a 1. And then it's giving this color pattern on the numbers, okay? So gray, gray, yellow. So because number 1 is gray, I'm going to type and click on the gray button. And what's going to happen on the right side of the screen here is that we are going to see a dot which represents a click, and this dot will be the color. For 0, it will be gray. For 1, it will be gray. For 2, it will be yellow. And this for all the patterns. So I'm going to click on gray for number 1. So on the right side, what happened is that there is now a dot, a big dot in the buttons for 0, and this dot is gray because that was the color of the 0 at that time. And you see that some of the hypotheses here turned red, and others turned gray. Kept being gray. So what this means is that the algorithm was able to eliminate a few hypotheses. So it already knows that I'm not trying to type a 2, a 5, a 6, a 8, or a 9. Why? Simply because when I clicked on the gray button, those numbers, 2, 5, 6, 8, and 9, were colored in yellow. So the algorithm can say, well, he clicked on a gray button, but those numbers were yellow, so surely he's not trying to type those numbers. So you can see that visually by the discrepancy between the color of the dot, so we have a yellow dot within a gray button, and that is inconsistent, the user is doing something weird. However, for the other one that are remaining in gray, 0, 1, 3, 4, and 7, they were all gray, so I have a gray dot within a gray button. And that makes sense. So we can safely say that they could be trying to do either of them. And so what's going to happen now is I'm going to click again. So we're still doing the first digit. The colors here have changed. So the machine is trying to now find out among the ones that are still green, is going to try to find out which one I really want to type. So it changed the colors, and now the number 1 is in yellow. So I'm going to click on the yellow button. And what we see is that now I clicked on the yellow button, so there is a dot that appeared on the yellow button for each hypothesis. And we reduced the number of possible digits, to 3 out of the 5 that were before and 3 out of the 10 that we had when we started. And we see that for all those 3 digits, 0, 1, and 4, we have a yellow dot in a yellow button and a gray dot for a gray button for all of them. And for the other, we have some discrepancies, like a gray dot in a yellow button. And so as I keep going, I'm going to click, 1 is gray now, so I click on gray. And we are down to only 2 hypotheses. And now I click again on number 1, so yellow. And now we actually found out that I was trying to type wrong. So the machine at this point, only at this point, after I clicked 4 times, is able to know with certainty that I'm typing a 1. Why? Because it's the only of the hypotheses that is consistent between the colors in those buttons, the colors of the dot in those buttons. So I have yellow on yellow and gray on gray. For all the other one, there is a mistake. For example, on number 4, there is a gray click on the yellow button. And so the machine finds out it's a 1, it's displaying the 1 to me, and ask me, you see that this square has moved, ask me to type the second digit. So when I press continue, you see that on the right panel, everything is back to green again, because again, the user could be typing any of the 9 digits. And so I said I would type 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's time to type a 2. 2 is gray, so I click on gray. Again, half of the hypotheses have been discarded, the digits that were in yellow, and half are still valid and possible. So I keep clicking 2 is gray, I click on gray again, and this discard again more hypotheses, and 2 is yellow, I click on yellow, and only number 2 is remaining. It's the only one where the colors on the buttons are the same. And so the algorithm knows that I'm typing a 2, and I can continue to type the number 3. Again, we are reinitializing our hypothesis because we can't type any of the 9 numbers, and we keep clicking. So 3 is going to be yellow, yellow, gray. So in 3 clicks, we have the certainty that the user is typing a 3. Let's see, for 0, we have gray clicks on a yellow buttons. Here again, we have a gray click on a yellow button. We have a gray click on a yellow button. Here we have 2 yellow on yellow, 1 gray on gray, so this is valid. We have a gray click on a yellow button. We have a gray click on a yellow button for 5. And here for 7, for example, we have a yellow click on a gray button. So I finish with number digit 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be yellow, gray, yellow. And I typed the number 4. So what you have to remember from this video is that the machine proceeds by elimination. It's making hypotheses about what the user might be trying to do, and it's comparing those hypotheses with what the user is actually doing. So if the user was, in that case, for the digit 4, trying to type a 0, he would have been trying to use a yellow button to mean gray, and that is not consistent. So now you can try this interface for yourself on the link that is provided below the video.